In this video, we're going to be talking about habit formation. For you to understand habits properly, you need to understand the psychological aspect behind of it. What is habit formation from a psychological standpoint? So the process of habit formation, first off, is made out. So the habit itself is usually a process linked to a certain behavior which through repetition becomes an automatic system that you follow. Once a habit is deeply established and it has roots inside your brain that is kind of triggered by an automatic system that happens on a daily basis or on a consistent basis, it becomes unconscious. You do a certain habit without even thinking about it. And psychologically speaking, each and every habit is made out of different components. This psychological pattern that we're going to refer to as the habit loop. It is made out of three different components. Number one, the trigger. The trigger is the main stimulus that started the habit itself. Where did the habit start, or what made you start doing a certain behavior or a certain habit? What is it on a daily basis or on a recurrent basis that makes you go back towards the habit and do it again and again and again? Second off, we have the action. The action is the habit itself. What do you do after you encounter the stimulus or the trigger? This is the habit itself. Number three, we have the reward. Out of this habit, you will get a certain satisfaction. You will satisfy a craving, or you will get a reward out of it that you deeply desire. And the thing is, once a loop is established properly, it becomes unconscious. Your brain would do this habit automatically without you being aware of it on a conscious level. There's something in our brain called the basal ganglia, and it is responsible for making out of a one-time habit that happens through repetition, and it kind of turns it into an automatic system or response that you have on an unconscious level. If we want to break down the habit loop more from a psychological standpoint, we can find that the stimulus itself is the reason why the habit started initially. We have a craving, we have this desire to do the action, which takes us to the second step, which is the routine, because you want to get to a certain goal, you want to get to a certain reward, you want to have a certain satisfaction out of it. And if you take any one of these components out of the habit loop, the entire system fails. If you take the stimulus out, the action would never start. If you take the action out, the habit itself is gone. And if you take the reward out, there's no reason for you to do the habit because you're not getting anything out of it. And in order for you to understand your own personal habits from a psychological standpoint, you need to be aware of these three different components that kind of form all your habits. You need to be aware of the stimulus. What is it that's starting your habit? You need to be aware of the action. What is the habit itself in action? And you need to understand, what are you getting out of it? What reward or satisfaction you're trying to reach by doing this certain habit or action? And once you understand your habits from this certain point of view, once you understand it from the habit loop point of view, this habit goes from being on an unconscious level, moves towards a conscious level where you're actually aware of what's going on. You're aware of the trigger, you're aware of the action, and you are aware of the reward you're getting out of it. There's a link to my next video that talks about how you can take this habit loop and manipulate it. How you can take advantage of this habit loop to change habits, to eliminate habits, or to create new habits. Of course, using the science behind your brain's psychology and how to effectively apply it.